Trick Rider, and this video is a little snippet on how to do the Hippodrome Stand properly. I just want to reiterate though that this is in no way in replacement of professional trick riding lessons. You should have someone at your place helping you along. You really must have a great horse that knows the trick riding pattern and is not spooky and just totally dead bomb-proof broke horse in order to be doing these tricks, because these tricks are dangerous. But I'm seeing a lot of incorrect hippodromes out there, and so I thought I would just give some little tips on how to do the Hippodrome Stand correctly and safely. So this is the Hippodrome Stand. As you can see, my feet are pointed down. That is the most important part of the Hippodrome Stand, is your feet have to be pointed down. And when your feet are pointed down, the rest of your body will follow in a straight line, kind of like a ballerina on her pointy toes. So when your feet are pointed down, it forces your legs to be perfectly straight, is how you want them. You want your body to be arched. You want to look and see that the horn is behind you. Now I can only arch so much because the horse isn't moving, but once the horse starts moving forward, I will be able to bend out really far, and the horn will get even further behind me. And you'll see pictures of people who are really good hippodrome riders, and they'll be arched way out there where their front of their body is almost touching the neck of the horse. That's up to you and how far you want to get. But the most important thing is you want to have your back arched, your butt totally tight, and your shoulders back, and a nice presentation. This is a perfect Hippodrome Stand. Now, this is what you do not want to do. You do not want to have your feet flat, like this, because what happens is, when the horse starts moving, you'll want to bend your legs. And when you bend your legs, you look like this. This is not the Hippodrome Stand. When your legs are bent like this, and your butt sticking out like this, and you're arched over like this, you're not doing the Hippodrome Stand. You're actually in a pretty dangerous situation because you will become unbalanced. And when you become unbalanced, you'll have a tendency to want to fall backwards. You never want to fall backwards. You never want to fall with your butt hitting the saddle. You always want to fall forward. If you feel like you're going to get unbalanced, you go forward. The way you want to start the Hippodrome Stand, feet pointed down, you're going to be here, pretty much at the station. You're going to have your feet pointed down right from the beginning. But your legs are going to be a little bent because you're going to be here at the station, getting your feet in. You're going to pop up. You're going to be holding onto the mane a little bit. And then what you want to do is, you don't want to do this because you're never going to get up. You're going to be doing this. What you want to do from the Hippodrome Stand, you want to be in the jockey position and you pop up. So you got to practice that at a stand for a while. You're at the jockey position, you got your toes pointed down, and the horse starts getting into a lope, and you pop up. That's going to get you right in the position of your legs being perfectly straight, like a stick. Pretend like somebody's poking you in the rear end with a pitchfork, and your rear end's going to be nice and tight, and you're going to be out here. Now, if you feel like you're ever going to get unbalanced, you never want to have your rear end in the saddle. You always want to be back in the jockey position. Because what happens is, if you get unbalanced, if you go backwards, you have nothing to hang on to but air. You could possibly be hurt very badly or even killed because you're backwards. You can get dragged into the strap. Now, with any trick and trick riding, it is a dangerous sport. Things can happen. You are in a strap. You are strapped to this horse. The horse could stumble on you. The horse could spook sideways. The most common injury doing the Hippodrome Stand is a broken ankle, because typically your feet are in there. It's kind of like skiing where your feet are attached to something, and the horse will go one way and your feet might go the other way. So broken feet, broken ankles are very common for this trick. Horse stumbles, you could possibly get hung up. So that's why it's the most important to wear the wrestling shoes, so you can get out of your strap easily. How you want to do that is you want to get your hand here on the horn, possibly on the mane, and lift up and pop out. Sometimes things happen really fast and you're not able to do that. So what you're going to do is you're at least going to get yourself in that jockey position and hang on to that mane for dear life. That horse stumbles, you do not want to be falling off. You want to hang on to the horse. You don't want to be drug. Those are probably the most important things, is basically just hanging on to the horse and popping out of your straps when you can. So I'm at the station, putting my feet in the Hippodrome straps. I want to have my foot really far in there so that the strap is pretty much in the middle of my foot here. I'm going to get into the jockey position. The horse is loping, and I pop up. Nice straight legs, arms up, rear and in. Now you can either do the Hippodrome like this, you can carry a flag behind you, you can do it like this. If you're doing an out of the pattern kind of Hippodrome, you can grab a hold of the rein and do one-handed. However, never, ever, ever use this rein as balance or leverage, because what you're going to do is, if you get off balance, what are you going to do? You're going to pull up on the horse's mouth. So you never want to use the rein as a way to get into your Hippodrome stand or use it as balance. It's only just to guide the horse. That's it. Your rein should be this loose. Now, there is a little cheat that I have taught students that are having a hard time in their brain of standing up and getting into this position right off the bat at the lope. So what I'll do is, I'll take a strap, tie it around the horse's neck so that they have something to hang on to as a comfort, because really isn't doing much, but because if they're standing correctly and their legs are straight and their toes are pointed down, they're going to be able to stand in the Hippodrome stand, but a lot of times you can't get it out of your head. So I give them a little cheater strap, but I make them drop it pretty quickly after they're in the lope, and they're like, okay, so drop the strap. So they'll drop the strap, they're fine. So this is what you want to do in an emergency situation. Back down to here, pop out of your strap. So when you're first learning the Hippodrome stand, you're gonna do it standing first, just to get the feel of what the strap feels like, what it feels like to stand properly with your legs nice and straight and your knees locked. And then you're going to have someone help you, and they're going to lead your horse. Then you're going to get into a walk. You're going to learn what it's like now to be up here on a walking, moving horse. The first thing that's going to happen is you're really going to maybe go off balance because you're startled. It takes you by surprise, and you want to go backwards. But anytime you feel like you're going backwards, you do this, okay? So the next one is the trot. You start getting used to the trot. Now you're really going to have to keep your legs nice and straight for that, because now you're bouncing. Someone's leading you, and they're running along. You're getting used to the trot. Now for the lope, that's when you're going to have to probably be on your own, because now you're going to be on a running horse. Now, running the fastest, a Hippodrome stand is the easiest. The faster your horse is going, the easier the Hippodrome stand is. You can start here just to get used to what it's like to be in your Hippodrome stand, to be in your straps on a running horse, and then you're going to pop up when you feel like you're comfortable. But you can do this for a while just to kind of get used to it. But always be forward and always be in the jockey position if you ever feel like you're getting off balance. And then when you're ready, you hop up. So this is the Hippodrome strap. It's a very, very, very thick strap. I do not recommend using Latigo if your saddle maker is to make a strap for you, unless there are two pieces of leather sewn together with possibly nylon in the middle to keep it from stretching. Latigo has a tendency to stretch really easily. You don't want this strap to get really loose. Harness leather is really good, but something that's really, really thick and double stitched if possible. And as you can see, it's laced. So what it is, it's wrapped around the D-ring here on the saddle. We kind of loop it a little bit here so that when your foot's in it, you have a nice cozy little platform against there. Now the trick riding saddle's D-ring is up high. You want your Hippodrome strap to be high. If you're going to be using a Western saddle, pay attention to where that D-ring is on your Western saddle, because if it's too low and it's down here, you're going to be riding way too low, and it's going to be like being on a swing set, and you're not going to get a good stand. You're not going to get a good tight stand, and it just won't look well anyway. It won't really look like much of a Hippodrome stand. It kind of looks like you're riding in high stirrups. I've been seeing kind of a lot of that out there because Western saddles kind of have a lower D-ring. If you do have a Western saddle that has a high D-ring, then you're in good shape, but a trick riding saddle is probably the best. in order to really get a nice, good hippodrome stand. Trick riders typically wear wrestling shoes, and as you can see, the reason we wear wrestling shoes is because there's not much of a sole there. So when you are in your hippodrome strap, you can really feel that strap, and you can really feel what's going on, and you can pay attention to how you're pointing your toe, how it feels in the strap, and you just kind of get a sense of this whole piece, your foot all the way up through your leg being one piece and one big straight stick. When you're wearing boots, it's a little harder, not to mention it's hard to get in and out of the strap. If you're a professional trick rider and you're used to riding in anything and everything, you can do it. But if you're just learning, really you need to have wrestling shoes. You really need to have wrestling shoes because it's like a ballerina trying to do ballet in combat boots. It's just not going to work right. So you want to have your foot light, you want to be in the wrestling shoes, and you want to be able to point that toe down. So that you can get in and out of these tricks safely. So I just want to reiterate that. Okay, got this damn fly.